basically to be like, not quite automated, but like automatic network, you know?
Yeah.
So like, okay, I know.
Talking about like merging it into your current lifestyle.
Right, exactly, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Because ultimately, that's what it is, it's a lifestyle, you know, that you're trying to live.
Yep.
And so figuring out how to live that lifestyle.
Yeah, right.
Oh yeah.
Came up with an idea for app that I feel I should get started on as well because it's in line with what I like to do. And basically, the name of it so far is called Voyeur Friend. It's a combination of the words voyage and friends.
Right.
And the main thing about this app is to inspire people to solo travel more. So, like when I was in Grenada, I was in the apartment by myself and I didn't know anyone there.
Right.
And I had to go on YouTube and Google and type in like interesting things, interesting places in Grenada.
Right.
And it's very vanilla. It's only just like tourist hotspots, and it didn't really give me the true Grenadian experience I was looking for.
And that's the next thing when I work is traveling, you know, because like, you know, I have friends, family who's traveling a lot. And like, it even comes to Trinidad, right? Like if you don't know a Trinidadian, you're not really gonna travel to Trinidad, you know? Like you need, and not a tour guide necessarily, but like you're saying, like a friend, you know? Who can actually show you the real thing of it.
Introduce you to their social circles.
Right.
And on this app, there's basically like interests, I'm gonna call them tour guides, for lack of a better word.
Right.
Voyeur friends.
Right.
Let's use that term, voyeur friends.
There you go.
So these individuals would have listed their interests and their hobbies. So whatever interests and hobbies that you have that aligns with them,
Right.
you know, you could tag along on their adventures. So say like you're a painter,
Right.
and you have an art gallery that's going on, and you like painting. So you could go with this person to their art galleries. You know?
I understand.
So similar interests comes into play, and it's really about experiencing the local culture with
Local, that's a good tagline in the book. Yeah, write that one down for sure. Experiencing local culture with a local, you know, because like I was talking to one of my cousins the other day, and you know, oil drying up, right? But even if we have or not, oil is no longer the cash cow that it once was.
Yeah.
And so, you know, Trinidad needs to diversify its economy. And she was talking about the airport that doesn't Tobago, which is great, you know, cool. But what is that going to encourage? It's going to encourage more transnational corporations like Sandals and things.
Yeah.
They want to set up in Tobago that really erodes the Tobagonian culture and the Tobagonian experience, you know?
Yes.
Whereas, because like, as we're talking about the lifestyle now, like, and I think both of us are feeling it where 2025 feels like a massive shift. Or like the last 5 years have been, you know, it's like a landslide, you know? So one rock fall 1 year, 2 rocks fall, you're seeing those rocks fall, but not a landslide yet, so I just gonna keep doing what I do. But then you wake up one day and you say, dog, the next rock that fall there,
It's gonna cause a landslide.
everything coming down. And you've been seeing it, you know, and so you're making preparations and things. It's not too intense, but you know eventually the whole thing is gonna come crashing down, right? And then even just on the political side of things, you have Trump in power now, Trudeau stepped down in Canada, Rowley stepping down in here. I mean, he said he's gonna step down in 2020, but it feels like there's a shift, right?
Massive change.
The older generation is aging out of things, right? And our generation, the generation above us, is now stepping into positions of power and doesn't know what to do. Because all the rules, all the infrastructure that were built for a world that's no longer here, you know? And so now it's up to us to essentially build the infrastructure, both physically and mentally, intellectually, for the future number, you know? And so that's what I like when you're saying about experiencing the local culture with the local, because like so much of our life is relationships, you know? And I feel like sometimes people get confused and think about, oh, life is money, life is success, life is power, whatever the case may be. When really and truly it's about experience, it's about relationships, you know, and about being able to connect with someone genuinely, able to cross cultural and language barriers, because we're all human beings, we all shit, we all bleed, you know, And I feel like there needs to be more focus on that as opposed to who car you're driving, where you live in, what kind of house you're living in, and things like that, you know? And so I'm really interested in figuring out the ways that we can really like capitalize on this massive shift, you know? And create a lifestyle that works for more people, right? So this current system works for, I don't know, like 10% of people, you know? Yeah. And so even if we can reach 50%, even if we could reach like 20%, make a system that works for 20% of people. And then the next generation, they get next 20%. And they get next 20%, you know? Because like, it's booming, you know? Rope is literally booming right now. And we're still focused on the wrong things, to me, you know? And like we both experienced it, your life can be uprooted. Everything you believe in, everything you think is true,
culture shock,
taken away. Just, you know, and people have such deep-rooted beliefs. And these beliefs they're just incorrect, you know? They're just wrong. It's not a matter of, you know, I'm this religion, you're this religion. It's just like, it doesn't matter.
But it's very limiting as well to its perspective. See, which is why I love travel, because you have to go to find out the things that you don't know.
Yes.
You know, that's why talking to other people is important, experiencing different cultures.
It's so important. And because the only way to learn, because everything is relative, right? So you think you're a normal guy doing normal things until you meet somebody who's really a normal guy doing normal things. But you think you're weird. You're not a normal guy, I'm a normal guy. You're doing weird shit, I'm doing normal shit. But he's like saying the same thing to you. And you're like, wait. So, and nothing is normal, everything is just weird. And it's like, well, yeah, kinda, you know? Like, everything is relative. What's normal to you could be real off to a next man, could be real normal to a next man, you know, and you don't know, and you can't know, and especially with social media, and because like, niggas don't go outside their comfort zone. Niggas don't try to learn something different. Niggas don't try
to understand.
You understand? Something new, something different, something that you might not have considered before, and really, truly, fundamentally, like, try to take the stance that I could be wrong. You know, like, every day I wake up and say everything that I currently believe could be wrong. And like, every day I have to prove to myself that what I believe is right. And it's true, not even right, it's true. Because there's no right and wrong, it's just true or false, you know? Like, I believe that for example, like, politicians care about me, right?
Yeah.
So now I have to go and prove that. How am I gonna prove that? By their actions. Do they act like they care about me? Not really. So it's not about right or wrong, that's just incorrect. It's just not the correct belief to hold, you know? But if you hold that belief for so long, the longer you hold it, the deeper rooted it gets, you know?
Right. Until it becomes a part of who you are. It becomes a part of your individual
identity, you know? And people are so like protective of their identities and stuff like that, where like, even having conversations with my mom yesterday about like, are you the same person? Like, when you ask yourself, who am I?
Yeah.
The answer could change moment to moment, you know? And I think it should change moment to moment, because like, you get new information, you have new experiences, you know? And so you have to be able to be adaptable, you have to be able to shift and to change and stuff like that. And like, things that people, even like us, having this conversation now, you know, just rocking back with the bare cameras and things like that was unthinkable 20 years ago, far less 50 years ago, far less 100 years ago. Like, I could just do this, throw it on a website, something might happen, something might not happen, but the ability to do that. I used to have to go to some news station, go to Diddy parties, just for the opportunity to talk to people,
right?
You know? And if people are holding on to these old crumbling institutions, it's like the whole house is falling down around you, be like, I grew up here, I have so much memories here, and it's true, you know. But you have to let those things
But
go.
do you want to die there? Do you want to spend the entirety of your life there? Is there not anything else you want to see, witness, or experience? The world is so massive. There's so much interesting things in this world that you have to see.
Yeah, have to.
That just feels like it's necessary to be a part of, to expand your awareness of what it is.
Yeah. And the next thing too is like, because even with the travel thing, right? Like, Trinidad is a dot on the map.
Trinidad fits easily into Lake Maracaibo in Venezuela. And that's a lake. That's a lake.
Understand? And I have not seen every square footage of Trinidad
You know?
that could fit in a lake.
Same.
You know?
Yeah.
So even studying, traveling to different countries and things, which is good, but start where you are. You know, it helps so much. You know, Lawrence always saying, know your country.
Start where you are with what you have.
Start where you are with what you have. Go and talk to the people around you. Because a lot of times, I went the Avenue for a gyro, must be 2 nights ago. I see a man who went to school with Wayne. I don't know if you know him, Red Man or something, right? He was a couple years younger than us. And we never really had a conversation in school, you know, saying whatever. But the love that I felt, that I showed when, you know, we just bunks up each other,
Yeah.
saying whatever, say, yeah, go get my food, I'll go check you. We stand up in the line, going back to his car, man say, what's that? Just so I say, well, yeah. But I started there for an hour, just talking to this guy, though. And like, would have never guessed he had the experiences that he had. He's living the life, what things I couldn't even imagine, though. You understand?
You think you know a guy?
You know a guy.